So what did you see out there on the field today? How were you able to have so much success getting into the backfield, getting to the quarterback?
Well, we just knew kind of, especially towards the end of the game, that they were just going to start, really rearing back and throwing it as much as they can because they were having so much success with it. They weren't having much success with the run game, so we came over. Coach Wise said to the D-line, he said, hey, let's ramp up the pass rush and the pressures, and we'll play the run on the pass. So that's what we did, and we had some success. But it was just a mentality, kind of what they were doing. We had to adjust, so.
As a senior, what does it mean to leave your mark on the program in the record book by tying that single game mark?
Yeah, that's huge. But most importantly, we got the win. I didn't even know that I had 4 sacks until Albert told me I was walking over here. So obviously a great accomplishment, but D-Mix, DeMarie, and Mason and those other guys were putting just as much pressure on him as I just got to him, and they did a great job. And on the back end, they held up well. They had some trouble, but they held up well, and that allowed us to get to us. And we had really good underneath coverage with our linebackers, so that just held up and allowed me to get some time. I know one of them, one of my sacks, it took a little bit of time, but with that's just the back end holding up. We told them, hey, if you guys hold up 4 seconds, we feel like we could get to them in 4 seconds. Just hold 4 seconds, and then if not, that's on us. That's something we got to do. But we were telling them 4 seconds, and then we did a decent job of that.
You had your 4 sacks. The whole defense had 8, but you also held them to -8 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Which is more gratifying to you?
Probably the rushing yards, actually. The sacks is a huge deal. Don't get me wrong, but we kind of, as a whole defense, want to establish ourselves of, hey, you cannot run the football against the SMU defense, and that's what we did. That's kind of what we prided ourselves. Didn't do a very good job against TCU. They ran the ball all over us. That's just something that we got to get over. We got better from it. But going in, Coach Malone and Coach Wyatt and Coach Lepp and Mac, they just wanted to establish all the way to the spring, you cannot run the football in this SMU defense. And that starts up front and then goes to the linebackers and obviously to the safeties. And that's something that we wanted to establish every week, no matter who we're playing.
How big was it to get Mason Gentry back, his second game back, and now he has 2 big sacks?
Oh man, I'm so happy for Mason. I told him, I gave him a hug, and I told him I loved him after the game, and it hurt him to sit out those first 3. And last week he was limited, and I'm just so happy for him. His girlfriend flew all the way down from Michigan to come see him, and his family was there, and he just had a really good night. It's really good to see him really revamp and kind of get back into the flow, and just hope that his back can hold on for the rest of the season.
We talked all year with Coach Mason or Coach Morris about the depth that you guys have. That's been able to.
3 years ago.
Well, yeah. Well, but it was leading to Mason Gentry. You missed Mason for a few games,
Yeah.
and your coaches have talked about the depth and how you've been able to rotate lines. What does Mason specifically bring when you add him back into that rotation?
Oh, he brings a lot. He's a big body. I mean, he's about 305, 310. I think they got him listed as, and he is all of that. He's just a big body in the middle that just swallows double teams. And coach has kind of been on him in the previous years of, hey, we need more pass production. You do really good in the run game. They can't move you. Your double teams are good. Your hands are inside. But we need some more pass rush, and that's kind of what he's focused on and what he could do, limited obviously with his back. But he's just a big body, a big workhorse down low, and then whatever you tell him, he's just going to do his job. Whatever you tell him to do, he's going to do it. He may not like it all the time, but he's going to suck it up, and he's going to do it, and he's going to do a good job for us.
Coach Morris said he wasn't very happy with how the third quarter went, but felt like things flipped in the fourth. What do you think led to some of the, lethargicness in the third quarter, and what changed going into the fourth?
Well, personally, I think it started before the third quarter. I thought we kind of came out flat. That's on us. That's not on the coaches. That's just on the players and the leaders of this football team. But the third quarter, we got a butt shoot a little bit at halftime, and we were all just, we weren't expecting to be in that situation. In the third quarter, they came out and they made some plays. They made some good halftime. You got to give credit to them. They did a good job, and we kind of felt our backs against the wall. And Coach Moore's bringing it up at the start of the fourth quarter, and so we're going to find out a lot about ourselves. That's all we do. All of our training is for the fourth quarter. and let's see what we got. And I thought we came out well, but that third quarter, yeah, I agree 100%. It was kind of a down, but they were just making plays. You know, you got to give credit to them. We were flat, but they were making plays as well. So I mean, I don't want to make sure we're all, but they were doing a good job.
Now, in previous years, coming out flat may have cost you a game. How gratifying is it for you to be able to bounce back in that fourth quarter and close out the game?
It's 100% satisfaction. I mean, that's just our culture. Our culture that Coach Morris talks about with you guys all the time, and with us especially. Every team meeting is about culture, and E+R=O, and it's about a response. So when they came out and they popped that big, I think it was a post down the middle, I don't know how far, it was like 60, 70 yards. You know, it's about a response. You can get on yourself and you can go sit down and whine on the bench, or you can get up, dust it off, and respond the right way and make a play the next. And we had a few things go our way. Some people were making plays, and our response was greater than the event.
E+R=O?
Yeah, so event plus response equals your outcome. Just kind of our motto. It's been our motto all the off season. Whatever events life throws at you, you can't control those, but you can control your response, which eventually determines the outcome.
Got it.
Coach Morris was talking about how in the last couple of years, maybe this game would have been a tough game for you guys to win. Do you agree with that? And did you ever see or sense any doubt from on the bench from your teammates, maybe thinking this isn't our day?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Last year we don't win this game. He told me, I gave him a hug. He told him I loved him, and that's the first thing he said to me. And he told me he loved me too. But the culture wouldn't withstand it. You know, we would have had bickering on the sidelines, people yelling and screaming at each other, asking if do you really want to play or this, that, and the other, and a lot of BC and D and blaming, complaining, defending. And so this year is much more positive on the sidelines, and that's just the leaders we have, the culture we have. Jordan Wyatt is hurt. Obviously, he did a phenomenal job on the sidelines. Give credit to him. Just staying positive, just bringing the energy, bringing the juice. Whenever we needed it, when someone's head was down, he'd run over there. Hey, get your head up. Let's go. Let's go. It wasn't, hey man, do you want to play? Do you really go home? It wasn't none of that. It's the positive energy that we all need, and there were several guys doing that, and that's just the culture that we've instilled in this program. It was fun. It's being on the sideline was fun.